the Replay XD Prime X. Is it really better than a GoPro? We'll stay watching to find out. So first of all, let's walk through the specs on this camera. The Replay can record Full HD and 1200p at 60 FPS. It can also capture 720p at up to 120 FPS, and if you want even slower, you can do 480p at 240 FPS. For the time-lapse, it can do a 16 megapixel shot at 3, 5, 15 and 30 second intervals. All of this can be shot with a field of view of 140 degrees. Now let's get on to the physical aspects of this camera. So if we unscrew the cap, we can access all the ports. Here we have the FPS, FOV and mode button. We have a mini USB, mini HDMI and a micro SD card slot, which comes with an included 4GB SD card. And we also have some lights. So now if we screw the cap back on, we'll be able to turn it on. Now to turn it on, all you have to do is hold down the on button until you feel a vibration. And you can also tell if it's on by looking at the blue lights, which are also a battery indicator. To start recording, all you have to do is press the other red button down. And to stop, all you have to do is hold down that same button until you feel a vibration. If we unscrew the cap again, you will be able to see some lights lit up, which indicates the mode, field of view, and the frame rate. If we click the FPS button, the light will change and the frame rate will change. If we press the mode button, it will change the mode, blue being 1080p, red being 720p, and yellow being photo mode. At this point, you'll be wondering, where is all the other modes? Well, we'll talk about this later. Here we have an image to show you what each color means for the video side of things. And now, here is the photo for the photo side of things. To turn this camera's Wi-Fi on, all you have to do is hold down the power button until you feel 4 vibrations. To connect to the camera, you'll need either an iOS device or, in my case, an Android device. First, you have to go to Settings, then tap the Wi-Fi button, then a Wi-Fi device will come up with the name Prime X with 4 digits after it. You will then put the default password of Replay XD in all lowercase. After that, you can leave settings and then go into the Replay app. Once in the app, you will see a live video feed from the camera. Now if we click the gear, it will take us into the settings, and the first setting we can change is the resolution of the video, which gives us all of these options here, and we have the 1080p 50 mode selected. If we go back, we will see the next thing we can change is the frame rate, which gives us the option of the NTSC frame rates, the PAL frame rates, or a cinema type frame rate. The next option it gives us is to change the aspect ratio, which is set to 16:9 as default, but it also has an option for 4:3 if you want. The next option that we can change is the quality of the image, which is pretty much just changing the bitrate of the video. The next option is the field of view, which gives us an option of either super wide, wide, or narrow. The last option in the video side of things is the slow motion switch. All this does is when you have it off, it records and saves at 120 or 240 FPS video, whereas if it was on, it would record at 120 or 240 FPS and then convert it to 25 FPS footage. So you don't have to slow it down in an editing software or editing package. For the photo side of things, we can change the resolution of the photo. The options are 16 megapixel shot, a 14 and a 12 megapixel shot. The next option for the photo side of thing is the quality setting, which has the same settings as before. And the last option we have is the ability to change how long the gap is for a time lapse. Now if we go into the Wi-Fi settings, we can change the SSID of the camera, which is the name that you see here. We can also change the Wi-Fi password if we want, and we also have some other information like the RSSI, aka signal strength. In advanced settings tab, we can change the exposure, white balance, etc. And you can see the rest of the settings you can change here. Now for the part you've all been waiting for. Is a GoPro better than a replay? Well, first of all, we're going to see which is better at sharpness. Now, it is very close between the two cameras, and as you can see, as a side-by-side comparison, it is a bit hard to tell which camera is sharper. So if I zoom it into 300%, we can see that the replay has a slightly sharper image over the GoPro. The next thing we're going to look at is the color. Now just pick which one you like better, and there you go. But for me, I like the replay as it is more color accurate than the GoPro, as the GoPro has a slightly warmer shot. Now both cameras do slow motion, but the GoPro can only do 480p at 120 FPS. However, the replay can do 480p at 240 FPS, and it can also do 720p at 120 FPS. For this example, I'm only going to show you the replay's footage. So here we have the 720p shot at 120 FPS. As you can see, the footage looks reasonably clear, and now we're going to switch over to the 480p shot at 240 FPS. As we can see, the footage looks a bit pixelated, but it is a lot slower than the 720p's footage. One thing I noticed is that the replay has a much better latency for live video over Wi-Fi. The GoPro has about a 6-second delay, whereas the replay only has 2 seconds. So would I say it's better than a GoPro? Well, yes. I would say, and have to agree, that a Replay XD Prime X is better than a GoPro. Well, better than mine at least. Now for some of the flaws in the device. One of them being that after about 5 to 10 minutes, the camera gets quite hot and shuts its Wi-Fi off. Which is similar to my next point, and that is that sometimes you'll get disconnected from the camera. And while filming this video, it happened twice to me. Another little disappointment is that it doesn't shoot 4K like a modern GoPro can. Now for the positives of this camera, and some of those are that the Wi-Fi is easy to connect to and works well when it works, the live video feed is quite quick compared to other cameras, the quality and the speeds that it takes is quite good, it comes with a 4GB micro SD card. One of the last great parts to this camera is its battery life. Now I have played around with this a lot more than what you see here, and I have had to only charge it once. For its price, it is a no-brainer over a GoPro, at only $200 compared to a $500 GoPro. Overall, the camera works well and doesn't disappoint. If you want a good camera at a relatively low price, you cannot beat the Replay XD Prime X. That is all for today. If you like the content on this channel so far, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.